Hello Year 3, I hope you're well. Today I'm just going to talk you through some of the questions that are on the arithmetic paper that we put on the website for you this week. I'm not going to go through all of them, I'm just going to go through some of the ones that are perhaps a little bit more difficult. I'm going to start with question 7 on the paper, which is this one here. 725 plus 209, and hopefully in your working out you change the question so that it is set out using column addition like this, and then what you would do is start your adding up from the ones column. So you would have 5 plus 9, which is 14. Remember, you're setting out your number 14 with your 1 underneath the tens column and your 4 in the ones column there. And then with the tens column, we have got 2 plus 0 plus 1, which gives you 3. And then for our hundreds column, we have got 7 plus 2, which gives us 9. So the answer there you should have is 934. And there are quite a few addition questions in that paper, so hopefully you've got on well with those. I'm now going to look at number 8 with you, which is a subtraction question. 319 subtract 165. And hopefully again you remembered to set your working out in the column subtraction method, just like that one there. Again, we always start with the ones column. So we're going to have 9 subtract 5, which is 4. And then moving over to the tens column, we have got 1 subtract 6. Now when we use this method, we say that we can't do 1 subtract 6 because the top number is smaller than the bottom number. So we exchange from the hundreds column and we make that 3 into a 2, and we bring the 1 over to make 11 there. And so we have 11 subtract 6, which is 5. And then 2 subtract 1, which is 1. So the answer you should have there is 154. Moving on to number 11 now. I've jumped a couple of questions. We've got a short multiplication question. 25 multiplied by 8. And this is how we set it out using short multiplication. We have to know our 8 times table for this one. So we would do, first of all, in the ones column, 5 times 8, 5 multiplied by 8. If that's a bit tricky, you can always do the question round the other way and say 8 multiplied by 5, which is 40. And then we look at our tens number here, 2 multiplied by 8. Again, if that's tricky, we can do 8 multiplied by 2, which is 16. Add on the 4 there, we have got 20. So our 0 would go in the tens column there, and we need to put our 2 in what would be the hundreds column. So that answer there for you is 200. Moving on now to question 13. We have got 72 divided by 4, which is short division. When we set out short division, we set it out like this. And the first thing we do is we ask ourselves, how many times does 4 divide into 7? So using our 4 times table, we know that 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. Now 8 is too high because we've only got 7 there. So we go back to 1 times 4 is 4, and then there are 3 left over to get from 4 up to 7, 5, 6, 7. And that 3 we carry over in front of the next number, which is 2. We then have, how many times does 4 divide into 32? If we know our 4 times table, we know that 8 times 4 is 32. So that's the short division question. The last two we're going to look at are 2 fractions questions. Now, we haven't really covered fractions yet in the curriculum, but these kinds of questions are appearing on all the papers that we have been giving you for arithmetic, so I thought it'd be good to go through a couple of them. These 2 are quite easy examples. This fraction here is 3/7, and we're going to add it to 2/7 over here. The reason why I've got these words up the top, just so you know, the top numbers here, we call those numerators, and the bottom numbers there, we call them denominators. And when we're adding fractions, when the denominator is the same, with our answer, we just keep that denominator the same. So this would be 3/7 plus 2/7, and because our denominator is 7 on both those fractions, we can keep it as 7 there. We just have to add up the numerators. In this case, we need to add 3 plus 2, which gives us 5. And then the same thing with this question here, it's a subtraction. We've got 9/10 subtract 3/10. So denominator stays the same, 9 subtract 3 is 6. And there you go.